Hi guys, I'm Mr. Bo and welcome back to another Community Ideas Destiny video. In today's video I'm going to be taking a look at your ideas for brand new PvP modes you'd like to see in the Taken King or the future of Destiny. Since actually asking you guys what PvP modes you'd like to see in the Taken King, we actually now have a full list of all the modes that are going to be with it, and we know of Rift, Mayhem, and the new one which is Zone Control, which is basically control but kills don't actually get you any points. It's all about capping the flags. So I got some awesome ideas from you guys and we're just gonna hop straight into it. So our first idea comes from Matthew Walsh, and he says, I would like to see a PvP mode like Flood from Halo, or maybe Infected from Call of Duty, where the other team could be some sort of other alien. I thought Thralls or Stealth Vandals would be good, and they have to kill all the other Guardians using melee damage only. The Guardians however have to survive and can use any gun of their choice in their own arsenal, but depending on the length of time they survived, they can receive care packages that drop heavy ammo, special ammo, etc. to help in their fight for survival. Not sure what they call it, but I think it would be a good idea. So I really want an infection type game mode as well, and you talk about how the infected could be Thralls or Stealth Vandals. Well, now we have a new race called the Taken in the Taken King. Maybe we could have Guardians that have this sort of black smoke coming off them and are basically Taken Guardians. It would give Bungie less work to do with trying to take a NPC model that we have in the game already and trying to make that available for someone to use, when they could just add this sort of smoke effect to a Guardian to know that they're already infected. So really nice idea there. Hopefully we see something like this in the future, maybe in the next Destiny expansion after the Taken King, or in the next Destiny game. Hopefully Bungie listens to some of these ideas that the community has. Next up from Donald McCann, he says, I would really like to see a no exotics mode, or even a mode with no heavy drops. I feel that this would reduce the Crucible to a test of skill, as it should be in my opinion. Perhaps any exotics equipped should be unequipped and replaced with a random legendary, or perhaps you could have 3 pre-selected loadouts. Perhaps this could even be a rotating mode such as Inferno or Elimination. On another note, private matches would be awesome. With Trials, Destiny seems primed for esports, but the lack of private matches is really holding the game back in this area. And I 100% agree with the no exotic mode. I would love to see this just have everyone on legendaries or common or rare or whatever it is, and be a true test of skill. I know a lot of people have wanted this, and some of the ideas I'm going through in this video also want a no exotic mode. Bungie hasn't showed any interest in this at the moment, but that would be really cool. And maybe even a game mode where everyone has a full set of exotics. That could be something different as well. As for private matches, this is something that needs to be added. We don't have any confirmation of whether we're going to be seeing that in the Taken King, but definitely with Trials of Osiris it could be a really good esports game. We're seeing more inclusion of like supers and things with games like Call of Duty Black Ops 3, so I don't see why Destiny couldn't be an esport game as well. So I definitely want to see the idea of that being brought into the future of Destiny as well. Next up is VG Swarm, and he has an idea. He says, this game mode is like Elimination, but every round you must put on a different type of weapon than the last round. For example, the first round it can tell you to use void weapons only, and then the next round could be arc, and then maybe after that, kinetic. If players don't use the right weapon type that is chosen, that weapon would do less damage more than the right weapon, but you can still kill someone with it by using more shots. So instead of a shotgun being a one-hit kill from close range, it would be a 3-shot kill if the gun doesn't meet the round requirements. This game could be called Burn and would mainly be for the more high level Guardians. Now this is something I've never thought about in PvP. Having requirements for your gun types would be really cool to see. It would give PvP players more of a reason to go out and get those burn weapons, and for instance things like the Trials of Osiris, when you get an adept version of a weapon it comes with a burn. That isn't really very useful for PvP, it's more useful for PvE, so that would definitely give you a reason to try and get the 9-0 to get that adept version of a weapon, which you could then use in the burn type game mode. So I could really see this working well. I would love to play this, and I really want to see burns factor more into PvP. I think that would be really cool to see. Now VG Swarm also has another idea for a search and destroy type game mode. He says, I would like to see a sort of search and destroy type game mode where one team plants or starts the bomb with their ghost, and then they have to defend it from the other team, but once you die you can't respawn until the end of the round. This will be a 5v5 game mode and will be so much fun with a fire team. If this was in the Taken King and Trials of Osiris, that would be so cool, but I can't see it happening. So I could see this happening in Trials of Osiris. We have the game mode Salvage, which is fairly like search and destroy, except you have a bomb point that moves around the map. Take Trials of Osiris game mode where it's 3v3, no respawns, and have a salvage point in the middle of the map, kind of like you do with the flag at the end of a trials match, and that would be a really cool game mode. It would kind of have the search and destroy type feel. However, I don't know if people would play the objective. They might just play it for kills like they would normally trials, but I think they really need to add more objective type game modes into Destiny, and we are seeing that with the Taken King with the brand new Rift game mode. We then have some ideas from Paul Gordon here, who says he'd like to see private matches. He'd also like to see a 1v1 salvage or skirmish type mode, and I would definitely like to see that. He would like to see a relic mode. One person on each team gets a relic, kind of like a VIP game mode perhaps. He'd like to see a no exotic mode again, bringing that up from earlier. He'd also like to see a game mode called War Mode. Each team has an army of a certain race, Hive, Vex, Cabal, Fallen, and only the AI respawn. Once you die, you're out. Sounds like a really cool game mode. Kind of reminds me of the brand new game mode in Halo 5 Guardians called Warzone, in which you have random AI enemies located around the map. And then finally, experimental mode. You are allowed to equip weapons you don't own to try them out. So I'm going to talk a bit about the experimental mode here. Now in the Taken King, we know the gunsmith is going to become more useful, and you're actually going to be able to try weapons out from him. Every week you can order a weapon from him which will have a random roll on it. Every Wednesday you go pick that up and then you can use that. Perhaps this experimental mode could work with that. You have to go and get a random weapon from the gunsmith, and only those weapons can be used in this Crucible game mode. It will give you a chance to use weapons you don't really use in a PvP environment with other people who aren't so familiar with those weapons as well. So I really like that idea. And that wraps up all your ideas for brand new PvP game modes you would like to see in the Taken King or in the future of Destiny. As I said before, we now know 3 game modes that are going to be coming with the Taken King, and I believe that is all we're going to see. However, we do have 8 brand new multiplayer maps coming, so that is going to be cool. As for the community ideas series, I'm going to be putting it on hold for just a bit. I'm going to be bringing out Exotic Weapons Part 2 and Exotic Armor Part 2 in the near future, but because there's so much information about the Taken King coming out in the next few weeks leading up to the launch, I'm going to be covering all that for you guys. But this community ideas series will start up about a week or 2 after the Taken King has come out, allowing me just enough time to cover everything that I want to with the Taken King, so I hope you guys understand. So make sure you keep a lookout after the Taken King comes out for Exotic Weapons Part 2 and Exotic Armor Part 2. You guys had plenty of ideas for those, and I will cover them all for you guys. If you guys would like to check out my previous video in which I talk about the brand new exotic Sleeper Simulant, in the video I actually kind of got it wrong and started calling it Sleeper Stimulant, and I put that in the intro, so I am very sorry for that. Hopefully it doesn't bother you too much, but I promise to never make a mistake like that again. It was just me being stupid and getting the name of the exotic wrong. But if you guys want to go check that out, I go through all the perks, how you're going to be able to obtain this weapon, which is really cool. Then you can click the link on screen or in the description below. Feel free to give the like button a big old hug and subscribe for tons more Destiny content and coverage. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.